Having social anxiety is a lot more than just dealing with a little bit of shyness. I mean, we all know the feelings of being extremely nervous or uncomfortable in social settings, with some people who clam up before meeting somebody new, while others, like myself, get sweaty palms before presenting in front of a group. But most people could deal with that and we could get through it. But for someone who has social anxiety, the stress that comes with going to a really big party or a large social gathering is just too much to handle. There were a lot of times, even to this day, that I deal with being socially anxious. It usually happens when I'm about to go on a date with a really cute girl, or I'm about to go to a party where I don't know anybody, and I fear that I'm either gonna make a really awkward joke or I'm just not gonna impress these people the way I'd hoped. Sometimes I'd rather just avoid the party altogether because it just seems like the safer option to just be in my room and watch Netflix than to make a fool out of myself. If you feel the same way, then I want you to really watch this video and note down the tips and advice that I'm gonna give you, because these are the same tips that I use to calm myself down and remove those negative self-damaging thoughts that keep us from being able to make a new best friend. All right, now the first piece of advice that I have for you in order to help you overcome your social anxiety is to understand the spotlight effect. I think as humans, we often overestimate how much others care about our opinions, right? I mean, we think that the spotlight is on us, that everybody's watching you and judging you, when in reality, majority of the people simply don't care. The main reason we feel anxious around others is because we feel like they're watching us and mocking us. We're scared to be ourselves because we don't want to deal with the risk of people disliking us, right? But the reality is the majority of people are not thinking about you because they're so busy in their own heads thinking about themselves more. If you guys want to know more about how to stop caring about what others think, then I really want you to check out this video that I put out a while ago. You can check it out somewhere over here, where I give you guys a great example that proves that other people are just as self-conscious as you are. And if anything, you going up to someone and sparking up the conversation could make you the hero in that situation. All right, now another tip that I want to give you guys on overcoming social anxiety, and I know this is going to sound a little bit cliche, but trust me on this one, is to take deep breaths. I'm not gonna lie, this is one of my first go-to methods before walking through that front door. Stop what you're doing and take a deep breath. In through the nose and out through the mouth. It just makes you feel a lot more relaxed and at ease. Now, when you get really anxious, you tend to do what's called thoracic breathing, where you release quick, shallow breaths in rapid succession. And it's those rapid breaths that makes it feel as if you're not getting enough oxygen, which escalates your level of panic. Now, for me personally, it's usually the lack of deep breathing that gives me that racing heartbeat, makes me feel dizzy and woozy, and also tenses up my muscles. Deep breathing doesn't just provide more oxygen to our brain, but also calms down our nervous system and clears the fog in your mind for when you're about to walk into that social setting. All right, now the third piece of advice that I have for you guys in overcoming your social anxiety, and I know you're gonna hate this one, is to face your fears in baby steps. Guys, social skills are exactly that, right? Skills, in that you have to practice and train them to get better. I think one of the best ways to get over your fear of interacting with people is to gain exposure. Get used to talking to people. I think one of the worst ways to face your fears of talking to people is by going to like some big ass party where you see 5 million people at once. Like that's overload. Like, I get crazy anxiety from that. Whenever I get really nervous, I do the following. I come up with some questions in advance, I remind myself to be curious, and I'd focus on one person at a time. Set yourself a challenge, I challenge myself to go to this event and find out something new from at least 2 people by the end of this night. Have one-on-one conversations and focus on the other person. And be curious, ask a bunch of questions, because people love to talk about themselves. And there's also nothing wrong with you carrying a list of questions to ask people, because it's gonna help ease your anxiety and get the conversations going, right? So you could ask questions like, where are you from originally? Or, what's the coolest thing you've ever done? What's the one thing that you love to do every day? And make sure that you're listening and asking follow-up questions. All right, guys, the fourth tip to overcoming your social anxiety is to not be afraid to use self-disclosure. Trust me on this one. Share with people and let them know you have social anxiety and that you're working on it. Anybody with a heart would see that and be more engaging with you because they want to see you be successful. I feel like our social anxiety tends to escalate because we keep it all in our heads and it feels like we're having our own inner battle, but letting it out to someone lifts this huge burden off of your shoulder and also makes you more secure because It's kind of like you finally let this big secret out and people see it and they understand it and they're helping you overcome it. All right, now my fifth piece of advice or tip to overcoming your social anxiety is a very simple one. It's to praise yourself. Look, I don't care if you met one person or 1,000. When you leave that party or event, I want you to take a moment and praise yourself, because you did a fantastic job. You went in there saying that you were only gonna stay for 10 minutes, but you ended up staying for an hour. And you had a goal of trying to get to know at least one person by the end of the night, and you ended up meeting 3. It's the negative and self-damaging thoughts constantly running in our heads that bring us down and make us want to give up. But I want you to challenge those negative thoughts. If your thought is, nobody likes me and I'm not funny, then question it. Why aren't you funny? Who said you're not funny? Be yourself and accept what makes you different and weird, because weird is good. Also, next time you go to a party or a networking event, at the end of the night, I really want you to write down all of the positive things. Everything you thought you couldn't do before the party, but you ended up accomplishing. This is a way for you to remind yourself of every interaction that you doubted yourself, but you overcame and you were successful. And that's a way for you to gain confidence little by little every single time. Guys, don't ever think that you don't have the ability to meet people and make conversation, because that's just simply not true. 12% of the population has social anxiety. Heck, I mean, I'm supposed to be the social guru here and I get anxiety a lot. So that just goes to show that it happens to everyone. It just so happens that you never got the advice or never learned the tips on how to do it properly. And that's okay. That's why I made this video, to help you guys and to give you guys these pointers. If you need some guidance or some advice, hit me up on Instagram, because I'm on there the most. Just DM me or even leave me an email, which I'll leave in the description box, and I'll get back to you guys as soon as possible. I hope these tips really helped you guys. My name is Akhil Nova, and if you enjoyed this week's topic and found it very helpful, then make sure to hit the like button and show your support and love, and leave a comment letting me know your thoughts, and also hit the subscribe button for new videos every single week. Hit that bell notification as well so you're alerted when I drop my next video. And I just want to say, I thank you, I appreciate you guys, I love you guys, and I'll see you all next week. Peace.